Yeah! That's it. It's gonna be one of those days. Or is it? Dun dun dun! That's gonna be some new gear that I'm gonna be making right there. CBD life. So I got 4 on. That's all right. You'll never guess what I'm rocking out to right now. I know you don't even know. I'm gonna have to change it. I gotta get a better. I'm listening to 7 Seconds. How many of you familiar with 7 Seconds? And they're actually from Reno. That's what's so crazy about it. These guys are from Reno. And they're very big in the mid 80s, early 80s, throughout the punk scene. They still do stuff, but yeah, 7 Seconds. They didn't claim to be straight edge, but they're very positive. Originally, the album that I did want to play for you guys, but it just this little record player that I mean, I need a better one. Ideally what I really wanted to play was Bad Brains. How many of you heard the Bad Brains, man? If you don't know Bad Brains, shame on you, dude, because you should know the Bad Brains. I wanted to play Band in DC. And look at that. You got these Bob Marley looking guys playing some fast hardcore. Matter of fact, too bad, dude. I'm going to give you one quick one. Actually, I'm going to play you this song. Actually, I did want to play, but you're not going to hear it too. It's not. Listen to this. This is some punk rock. I'm going to put the speaker there. Can you hear that? That's who's playing. The Bad Brains, man. And that's fully cranked up right there, dude. And it's not even rocking out for us all, so I guess it just wasn't meant to be Bad Brains tonight. So Bad Brains is going around. But, you know, I know you didn't come here to hear me rock out on records, but I had a good conversation out there last time I was out in Vegas. One of the boys, oh man, I don't want to say the team you're on, I can't remember. And it was a hazy night that night. But yeah, he's like, hey man, I hear you shout out to punk rock and punk records and everything. Well, another record I was thinking about starting out, but maybe for the CD thing. And the reason I'm doing all this punk rock is because I am punk rock. And you want to know why I'm punk rock? I'm going to tell you why I'm punk rock. I am punk rock because I just go by my own set of rules. And you know what? If you guys are really nice, see that guitar? Maybe I'll bust you the I Chihuahua theme song. But I kind of don't follow certain guidelines. I kind of go where I want to go and I do what I do and etc. I don't know if, I don't think I really offend people, but I kind of make I said my own thing. And one thing somebody once told me, not too long ago, 2 different occasions, 2 different people. Hey man, when you say you're going to go on at 7, you should, on Fridays, I'll say this. On Fridays, if it's normally at 7 o'clock, then I'm going to try to be on at 7 and just respect that hour because the JBI show that, comes on afterwards, I want you guys to be able to go from here and go over to the JBI show. But sometimes on Tuesday I get lazy, man. I got to commute and, get things together. I get to eat, I got to figure out what I'm going to wear. I don't know if you noticed the backdrop, but I changed my backdrop. All these little things just to bring that good little, visually stimulating, what is this? Audio enhancing, for the show. So when you're watching it, and I really like how some people say I'm kicking back and I'm hearing it. I'm out in my man cave. It's on the background. Or we're driving somewhere in the morning, commuting. We're listening to it. But I think the coolest thing I've always heard is when people tell me that they're listening to some of the topics that I bring up in a car. Try that. I do that sometimes, like when I want to listen to the JBI show and I didn't get around to it or whatever. Or obviously I like to critique myself. If you watch my old shows, if there was one word I used to say all the time was okay, it's out of my system, so let's just forget about it. Now I'm gonna start saying forget about it. But yeah, I like to watch what I'm saying and how I project myself and the words I use and how clear I am. And I do that in the morning as I'm driving. I kind of critique how I speak. I know sometimes I go fast and I tell myself, can they keep up or can they not keep up? But right now, I guess for a little bit, I'm gonna bust on some Dead Kennedys. And we're gonna be talking CBD tonight. Yeah, we'll get around to some softball. But this is a great album. This is my favorite Dead Kennedys album. Dead Kennedys. Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. And I've had this record for, Maggie, about 28 years. I got this when I was in college. Look at that, Street Light. So it's an oldie, great album. And it's punk up. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to have fun here. So this is the CBD that I'm selling. And there's the 3,000 on it. And the reason it has 3,000 on the bottle, because we're yet to get all these. Because no one is doing 3,000. I mean, here's another one. Here's another one. Look at that. Things to come. Look at that number. Yeah. We're out here making you Chihuahuas feel better. That's our goal. Make you feel better. So what I do with this is 3,000. I'm doing 3,000, but I do 5. And you're shit. And you're done. I was hoping, but I looked at my buddies. But I wanted to show you that a great way to do this, especially if you're a cigarette smoker, I highly recommend you do this. I actually have CBD cigarettes. But if you are a cigarette smoker, I highly recommend you use a vape and spray CBD in here, because all you do is you unscrew this. Actually, look, I'll show you. And you see how I'm doing that? You would just spray it. And you can kind of see where it is right now, the level. And then look. Look at that. Not even a squirt. Now it's full. And then you would just screw this back on and stick it in your vape pen and get yourself CBD. And there is no THC in this. Once again, I take this CBD, and the reason I like it, there's no THC in it. It's straight CBD isolate, cannabinoid, which if you look at the ad for tonight's show, I did put that CBD, isolate on there, okay? But I just took some, and because of that, if you guys are nice and stuff, I got Curtis Day, maybe I can get it, but look at this. This is my daughter's guitar. And, yeah, I haven't had a chance, but I am going to jam on a song that kind of is reflective of who I am, and not necessarily that I have a bad attitude. I don't think I have a bad attitude, but my mama, my papa, my family, they've always said, man, you know, you should not be afraid to voice your opinion. And, you know, so that's what I do. I'm going to be making some more stickers because you Chihuahuas want some. But 2020 will always be there on there because that's when the year I started doing this. And my, have we've grown. Next, what I got going that I do want to share is that I'm going to be teaming up with a good buddy of mine. And we're going to be getting the apparel thing going. And here's some of the stuff, his work. And I like this top. It's pretty hilarious. Let's get weird, Madcap. There it is. I'm going to be putting it on there. If you are interested in one of these two family shirts, this is the color we got here. And then on the back, it's going to be a little different. We're not going to put numbers on there. But it will have this stuff and then all the military people. And then we're not going to have Madcap across, but we are going to put a special little logo right here. But and the thing I like about this Um, these are really nice. I love this shirt a lot. You saw me wear it. I bought 2 of them, and I bought one for my cousin. Shh. Notice the number? But I don't know if I want to give it to him because I like it that much. Are you there, cuz? Because look at the number. Yeah, no. But, yeah. And here's some of the ones that I got going. The one I'm wearing right now currently is one that I had that you'll be seeing my man Stacy Darting putting in the raffles and sending them out. And first off, this is what I'm all proud about. We're coming to life. Look at that. WCL apparel. That's me. That's the front of this one. And there's the back. I like this little added logo. I've always go logo crazy. That's the whole thing. When you're going these type of shirts, I mean, it's pretty much endless. But if you're interested in getting some shirt done, some really intricate artwork, or some basic shirts, that's where we're collaborating. Myself, it's California. I'm merging up with my good buddy out there in Texas. And my good buddy out in Texas, he's going to deal more. Like I said, if you're looking to get more of the uniform type for team jerseys and stuff, and you want a little bit more on the durable side, like if you really see how thick this is, I don't know if you can, you know, but he's got the better thing, and he's more patient, and this is more what he does. He's more professional than I am, and that's why we're into. I'm more of the basic. You need some league shirts, you need something like this, which I did it. This is how we're doing them, and we're just combining forces. Like I said, I really like this one right here. We're going to be making a good amount of these, whether you want it white or black. Please do that. We're going to be ordering those. Here's some more shirts that I got. And this one's for sale. See that? WCL Apparel. There's the front. And then there's the West Coast Legend, the Dudley. And then, especially if you're a CBD guy, see, CBD. And I'm going to show you some fun shirts, man. And here's another one. Oh, well. Here's another one that I did not too, a while back. Ninjas. You know. And until I really found this guy out in Texas, found a great guy. I really love the quality. It's way above average. Another one, if you're interested, that I still got a couple more. And let me know. Message me if you're interested. I got this one. Bud Life. And the black blazers. And then our traditional blazer little spade there. And yeah, if you're interested, this is for a dama or small guy. This is a medium, but I think I got it like an extra large. I also have this one in white if you're interested. And I'm going to be making this one again because this is a very, very popular shirt. And this is the Kiss It shirt. Yeah, kiss it. You mad at the umpire? Tell him to kiss it. You mad at your girlfriend? Tell her to kiss it. Hey, what about the mailman? Didn't bring your check? Hey, kiss it. Or are you going to tell your buddy out there, hey, yo, and he looks at you, tell him to kiss it. And as you turn around and you walk and you tell him you can hug it too. And there's my little, the Chihuahua logo guy. So once again, kiss it. Tell them all to kiss it. And there's the back one. What's up, Curtis Day? JBI in the house. Oh, yeah, he is. What's up, Whitey? Whoa, hey. You know, I am going to be changing my Facebook. I'm going to go to my nickname, either the I or El Ojo, which I will tell a lot of you on a personal basis why I'm going to change it. Hey, but Coach, these are the kind of shirts I wanted to make for our team, to make a set of some BP shirts, you know, no numbers, you know, we'll just put some front row. I'm shocked that we're a conference team and we don't got a little conference logo like we did last year on our shirts. But yeah, I just want to kind of make a, you know, I have a great idea. I'm going to put front row, Conference USA on the tail, maybe some other MVP sports. But I think I like having that stuff. So when we travel or we kick back, we take our jerseys off and we hang out. You like that idea there? Kind of like this, you know. Curtis, I look at these not so much shirts for us to wear, but more of a shirt to wear like in the evening, undershirt. You know, if we're kicking back at the hotel. I want to make a shirt kind of like this, like when we travel. you know, look at this. See? This came up pretty good. And I want to make a shirt like this, you know, front row. I'll put the Conference USA, maybe, you know, I'll talk to you about designing, but a shirt to wear when we travel, you know, go hit BP Friday night, kicking back in the hotel, going out to dinner, whatever. Who knows? Maybe I'll just put that, I'll put that Texas here. I'll spice it up for us when we go travel. But I'm looking to do that. So, this is kind of loud. I don't know if my good buddy Memo is out there yet, but before I go there, I'm going to, you know, and this, what we're going to watch right now, wait, hold on a second here.
Such as anxiety and depression. In one
all right, there we go. All right. So what I'm going to show you right now is just something I just decided to do because it's really easy to find CBD information, okay? And, hey, what's up, Kelly? Please share this to people right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing this out there because it helps me to get the word out. You know, views are important, I guess, and I was at 1,600. I had my good buddy Waddy sporting his new, not signature bats, but, you know, Pro Swinger for Anarchy swinging his bats. And we got about 1,400 views, so thank you on that. Today is going to be primarily some CBD. I do got some questions. I also got some other things I do want to say and share. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you something that I just found today on YouTube. Okay?
Approved by the FDA.
There you go.
Epidiolex.
Oops, there you go.
Social anxiety disorder. A single 600 milligram dose of CBD reduced anxiety and cognitive impairment on a simulated.
And my CBD is the best. What's up, Memo? I'm going to have you come on.
300 milligram dose of CBD also reduced symptoms of anxiety during public speaking, but not a 100 or 900 milligram dose, suggesting that too much or too little affects CBD's efficacy against anxiety. Several studies have also shown that CBD may possess antipsychotic properties. In one study, CBD was as effective at reducing psychotic symptoms as the most commonly prescribed drug used to treat schizophrenia. Another common claim about CBD is that it has the ability to reduce pain, due to diseases like cancer and arthritis, or under normal conditions like post-exercise muscle soreness. Unfortunately, according to a recent review of 11 systematic reviews and observational studies, there's insufficient evidence to suggest that CBD is effective at reducing pain related to cancer or GI and rheumatic conditions, and only limited evidence to suggest efficacy for neuropathic pain. Studies have shown that while cannabinoids may increase one's pain threshold, they don't decrease pain intensity. Another understandably believable claim that I've heard about CBD is that it can help improve sleep. Now, I have a lot of trouble sleeping, so I wish this were true. But unfortunately, research doesn't entirely support this claim. Some studies show that CBD has a mildly stimulating effect. Other research indicates that the dose determines the effect and suggests that while low-dose CBD promotes arousal, high-dose CBD may increase total sleep time and decrease the number of nights.
Pretty interesting. She's going fast. I never heard that. I honestly want to say one of my guests tonight, he actually started taking it because he wants to help sleep. I will say when it comes to increasing sleep, for most people, I do know, and myself included, when I take my CBD, I have good night's rest. I sleep uninterrupted. I sleep throughout the night. The only time that I feel kind of occur is you have to go to the bathroom, and that's because when you're on CBD, like any other medicine, you got to drink a lot of water. And if you're not drinking a lot of water, then that can kind of you can get dehydrated, so to speak. You know what I mean? So there it is. You know what I mean? Jeez, that's that word. But that's why I drink a lot of water. And it actually feels good because, you know, part of taking care of your body and your health is flushing out your system. And when you're drinking water, you're having bowel movements, you know, you're using your everything. Your digestive system, that's flushing out your system. When you sweat, it's like when you're drinking alcohol, obviously, you know, you sweat out all those toxins. You go to the bathroom, it's bile. What's up, Kenny? So Roy says, I have had GERD and heartburn for the last 2 years, really bad. I have been spraying it in my water, tea over the last 3 months, and I have not had heart. So, I mean, I know you had bought some, but are you still using the CBD you got from me, Roy? or did you just go out and use other? Because I tell people whether you use mine or someone else's, whatever works, go for it. You know what I mean? This isn't, first off, those of you that buy CBD from me, this is not my job. I went to school. I'm a SPED coordinator, case manager. That's what I do for a living. This, I just do it to get free CBD for myself, but to make people feel better. But I will share, when they go to these cans and they're more labeled and it's going to go more viral, the price of the CBD that you're currently getting is going to go up. So I would highly recommend buy as much as you can within the next I would say the next 3, 4, 5 months. I would say towards maybe the end of summer. I would say earliest, maybe the end of July going to these. But I would say towards the end of August, maybe early September is when we're going to be going full on those. That's cool. Yeah, I remember. That was something that Roy did share with me. If you don't know Roy, No Limit Coach, sponsor, um, as well as Pacific Apparel, right? Sorry. Um, but he has shared with me that with the CBD he got, that he would spray it in your tea, coffee. I mean, you can give this to animals. I've heard people giving it to children, no problem. What's up? Nacho. Um, but Memo, if you're on there right now, I'm hoping you could join on. I'm gonna have my good friend Memo Felix coming on shortly. So if you're there, Memo, come on. And Roy, I'm glad it's helping you. I mean, tonight, Roy, if you'd like to come on and share, please do. I'm gonna have two people, and there's a reason why my two guests that I asked to have tonight, I asked them to come on tonight, because it's probably one of the most commonly, frequently asked question. But for me, I can't really answer it because, I'm hoping come on. So Memo, if you're out there, can you go ahead and click on? Yeah, what's up? All right, here we go. So I'm gonna have my good friend Memo Felix. Yeah, and I'm going up and down. Technical issues. So it says I can't get you on right now, Memo, because of technical issues. Um. Oh, try it again. Try it again. I don't think it's my technical. You can have you've done it before, but you can have a Bluetooth. Make sure you don't got any of the what's it called around going on either. I can't remember what it's called. Tabs, like multiple tabs, no Bluetooth. You should be okay, but try to get them on. But I'm gonna go my friend Memo Felix. It's Gelmore, but I just volunteered myself to start calling him Memo. Memo, before I was coming out, try to click on again, my buddy. Use your phone. I have to say, when you're using your phone, it's much better. But my good buddy Memo here, and this is some of the good relationships that I like, is I really met a good sound, really trustworthy guy through Facebook. And most of the time, the only time I really was kind of active on this Facebook was primarily to do this during COVID. So please hope this works right now. Okay, wait. Try it again. I don't know what happened here. Broadcast. I don't know why. Try it again, Memo. So, like I said, during COVID, it's probably the most active I've been. And I've had a lot of people message me, and I met some cool people, and I met some kind of sketchy people, and I met some kind of keep your distance people, and, it is what it is. And I always think I'm a pretty good judge of character. I mean, fortunately, I haven't been screwed or, whatever really bad. I mean, everything's been pretty good. I mean, the worst hasn't really been worse other than lack of communication over things. Something I do want to go on with my good buddy Memo's coming on. A couple movies that I really like. One of the movies I want to talk about is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. How many of you love this? Oh, man. This is a great movie. Phenomenal movie. All right, come on. Yeah, it's going to be working. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you got to watch this movie. You got to have an open mind, open taste, and it's funny. You got to catch it really close. Dude, you got to tell me you're going to come looking that good, brother. I mean, you know what I mean? You trying to show me up here or what?
I just can't find a hat right now. I got tons of hats, and I can get this. Can you see me
You
okay?
can't find the hat. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, I got tons of them, but my wife gets mad on the collection I got. But I just can't find. I was trying to find the hat to match the shirt, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, the SOG. I don't know if you have a mic or not a mic on or something, but I can't hear you. That I can hear you, but it sounds like you're really far away.
All right, hang on.
You might have to scoot in closer, my friend.
How about now?
Yeah, I mean, I
No?
can hear you. Are the people out there, can you all hear him? I mean, just kind of, if you can just put it on our thing, if you can hear him, okay. But I got my good buddy, my compa here, Memo. I've known him for about close to 2 years. And well, first off, you've been taking. Well, tell me, how long have you been taking CBD?
I think you got me on it a little bit shortly after you started it. I want to say maybe
Okay.
like a month or two. We're just kind of talking about, some of my play, my aches, my playing, some of my pain and stuff like that. And we're just kind of talking a little bit of softball. And then I remember you told me what you were doing and you sent me a couple pictures. I quickly tried to do some quick research on it and I said, oh, I can find it, but I can't find any information on it. So from that point on, you just you ended up getting me some and started drinking it, and started taking it. And
Uh-huh.
I would say like I had tried before this. I had tried like I won't say the name of the other brands, some good quality, expensive brands. And I just said, oh, you look. I mean, honestly, I mean,
Wait.
I don't,
How much were you
I didn't
spend?
feel
Tell me,
anything.
how much were you spending on those other bottles of CBD?
I tried one that was $90 plus. And then I tried
Uh-huh.
some that was probably 30, 40, $50, something like that. I
Okay.
probably tried about five different ones, to be honest. And I just I don't know what it was, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel a difference. Maybe they just didn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I know you always say it is you don't have to take mine, but find the one that works for you. Somewhere or another, I'm a big believer in that. And for some reason, this product for me, I noticed it by the fourth day. I think I took it on a Sunday or a Monday, I think, once I received it. And by Thursday, I just felt something felt a little bit different. I felt a little bit more limber. I had back surgery. I had a herniated disc at 25 years old. I dove in
Mm-hmm.
left field. And when I dove, my stomach hit the dirt and basically my back all shifted up, my legs and everything, and ended up having a herniated disc. So I ended up 6 months later. I ended up having to have surgery, and by that
Mm-hmm.
time, all I can do is walk around for 10 minutes, drink I would say a six-pack of beer, and play ping pong. And I had actually grown to about 221 pounds was the last time I weighed myself because I couldn't do no
Mm-hmm.
sports. Through that, I kept trying to play. Before that, I ended up blowing up my arm or almost tearing up my arm because I was using all my arm on my shoulder to try to alleviate from, using my back until I finally got the surgery. And, I think I was back to work probably, and I got September and I was back to work by January. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I can't sit around at home. I'm not a sit around at home guy, try to take it easy on workman's comp. I got to get back to
Yeah.
work, you know, and try to get back and play. So, because I looked at it, if I can work, I can play again. So, so
Yeah.
yeah, so that's how we were kind of talking about that. And twice a year, I'll tell you this, two times a
Mm-hmm.
year, and probably for the last 2 years, this has yet to happen to me. In early spring, when the weather changes from cold to, starts getting warm, I go
Mm-hmm.
I go through about 2 weeks. For about 2 weeks, I have like back spasms. And then right at when it goes from summer to fall, I go through the same period. I get back spasms. My back I feel tight, and it's just to me. I credited it back to my surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the parts the doctor says I can get you to 95%, but you'll never be 100%. 100%. Hey, I'm fine with that. As long as I can get back on the field, that's all I ever wanted to do. So long
Mm-hmm.
story short, ever since I've taken this product, I do not go through those periods. I do not complain. My wife does not see me take pills. I mean, we buy Tylenol, and all if it is, if I mean, I take it maybe once or twice a year now, and that's just more for a headache or something, you know. But usually for a headache or like if I get a migraine, I'll use my
Uh-huh.
CBD, you know, because
You
I
know,
don't, I
yeah.
don't.
Well, the one thing I mean I will tell people is the biggest thing I know. I mean, a lot of times with CBD, for me, a lot of things you don't really notice it until you notice it. And like I was telling people, I used to take Advil religiously every weekend I played because I wanted to perform at a high level. And I didn't want my body to cramp. I didn't want my body to get sore or tighten up. So I always took Advil. But what I noticed, and I totally forgot about it because I remember hearing the bottle of Advil, the noise. I'm like, man, I haven't taken this in a long time. I mean, once in a blue moon, I will take CBD. I mean, Advil. But for the most part, I don't take any kind of pus. I'm just straight CBD daily. I mean, are you finding that for yourself as well?
Yeah, I remember one of your earlier shows when I started following you. How I think you were out in, was it Utah, or you were out playing somewhere, and you said, I'm looking for this type of individual, this guy. And you found the guy that you called something the medicine cabinet guy. You know, the guy that had that opened up his roller. He had the what do you call it? The leaf, the Motrin, the what is it? The hot and icy. And I
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah. He's at the
and
super
I started
softball.
yeah, and I started laughing because my buddies on my teammates, anytime they needed something, I said, I got it. I got it all. I mean, I had it all because I felt,
Uh-huh.
same thing. I was like, I can play maybe one day, the next day, I don't feel as sharp. I don't feel as limber. I don't feel as free. And for me, being an outfielder and running around, for me, I look at it as my speed is my game. I need my speed, whether on the base paths
Yeah.
to cause havoc or in the outfield to cause havoc. That's it. And if I don't have my speed, I don't feel I'm up to my playing ability. So that's literally I would dose myself up with two Tylenol, extra thing Tylenol. Then I would still, put the icy hot. I mean,
Hmm.
the Tiger Balm. I would put it on my calves. I would put it all over. I was like,
Yeah.
this is like a freaking men's cologne on here. You know. And now, I mean, just recently I started taking more of the 3000, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Not so much for pain or anything, just because I wanted to see what the benefits were of it, and it's hard to describe, but it's just I don't know. It just feels like maybe slightly different. It just feels like it's just a little bit, how could I say, maybe a step above the other one, maybe because it's the dosage, but I feel a little,
In a humorous way, have you
yeah,
ever seen the movie Spinal Tap?
yeah,
3000 CBD is going to 11, is what it is.
okay,
The 1,000 is like an even kill, I tell people. I take it during the week, but when
hmm
I'm going to be physical, play league or BP and stuff, I for sure hit up 3,000. I'll tell you right now, before I do a show, I do 3,000 because I feel I can it's also good with memory. That's why I say it helps with people on the verge of Alzheimer because it helps with just, I mean, when it comes to me talking, speaking, or whatever, I can go on longer on CBD, as JBI has showed as well.
Well, Dave Velasquez said it best because I thought exactly. I knew it when he did his video and I watched the video. I mean, I commented back to him. I said, I mean, exactly the way I felt, exactly the way what is done for me. I mean, he put the
Uh-huh.
nail in the coffin because me going after COVID. I mean, my wife was telling me, you're forgetting stuff. Start writing stuff down. And I went back to work. One of my errors was going back to work too quickly. So
Hmm.
I was, and I think I shared with you before on the show. I ended up going into depression because it was just the amount of stress that was on me. I just couldn't. It was overwhelming. You know,
Hmm.
it, and I just wasn't sharp mentally. I wasn't definitely physically ready to go back to work. And then I went through some difficult things at work that just I don't know why I went through them, and I had no explanations why why I went through what I went through. But Yeah, it
Hmm.
went through, I went through a little bit of a dark period where, even emotionally, man, it was some trying times for me. And me being by myself wasn't good because I felt just lonely, and I felt, just like pain and stuff like that. So I just kept doing my regimen of CBD. I ended up having to do
Uh-huh.
some therapy, even just to kind of help me get things off my chest I was feeling, because I had never gone through that, and a lot of that was attributed to the COVID. But now I don't feel that fog no more. I don't feel that fog. I just really made sure I kept up on my regimen of CBD, because I think I shared with you as well too. When I got sick for like probably a good month, I just with work and everything, I was not taking it the way I had previously been taking it. And
Hmm.
now again, it's night
Well,
and day.
I mean, something I do want to say, because out of all the people that I've been, getting connecting them with CBD and stuff, you were the only person that ever got COVID. But the crazy thing I tell people, you didn't have just COVID, you got pneumonia as well, right?
Yeah.
You had them both. Now listen to this, you had them both at the same time.
Yeah, it started with COVID for about a week and a half. I was running temperatures and stuff like that, and then about a week and a half, I noticed I was having a little bit of a hard time breathing. I went into emergency, and they just kind of looked at me, here, take this, take that. 45 minutes later, I'm going back home. Until
Uh-huh.
about a couple days later, I go into another hospital, and they told me, well, look, we're going to give you a Z pack. We're going to give you some antibiotics.
Hmm.
Start taking that because you have a little bit of fluid. Well, 3 4 days later, I got down to where I was having a hard time breathing again, and we ended up calling, the doctor on call, and he says, yeah, on my little monitor, I was about 80. So about 15 minutes later, when I arrived to the hospital, I was at
Uh-huh.
77%. So they got me right away on oxygen, and yeah, I mean, that's basically, it was realistically what put me in the hospital was the ammonia, because I just couldn't fight it off. I just
Uh-huh.
when I arrived there, I had no more temperatures, no more any of that. It was just I couldn't fight off the ammonia. So that's really what put me in the hospital, at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
And you know, here I am today. I'm just blessed to be here, and that's all I attribute to God, and a lot of support from family and friends, and CBD. And I still take my
Yeah,
vitamins.
I know.
Yeah, I still take my
I
vitamins.
just gotta say, man, I just heard people. Since I've been involved with CBD and stuff, I just came across people who have kind of overcome some special stuff. Some of my obstacles. My good buddy Serna, he had esophagus cancer. He's had multiple surgeries, and with less than a year, he's back at work. But I mean, to see the guy how he's bounced back over time and what he's been doing since the CBD. I mean, the guy he's worked today. I was talking to him this morning on my way to work, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm waiting for some guy. I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Last Saturday, I was freaking out. Thought you were on your, or 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays ago, I thought you were on your deathbed and stuff. And you're freaking at work now at 7 a.m. waiting for some dude. What the frick? And I was like, damn. But something I do want you to share is one of the biggest questions that I've been asked in regards to CBD. And I remember Memo had shared this. It's about basically, will I test dirty if I'm on the CBD that I supply? Well, go ahead and share. I'll share what you did, man.
Well, basically a couple things. For my previous job, they would have random testing. Just out of the blue, lottery, and your name gets picked, and just get your piece of paper, and you got, like, depending on where you're at, you got like 30 minutes to an hour and a half to get to the clinic, and go do test. Basically, go
Uh-huh.
provide a sample, and then you get the results back. Like a day or two, I think. For me, it was like no news is good news. So I asked, I said, hey, how was my, I went in, obviously. I said, not that I'm worried about it, but just, what was the results? They're like, oh, you're negative. So I ended up going through two instances like that where, just random. And then just recently in February, it was February I think it was the 10th or 11th. Um, I was blessed to be provided, with a new job, and long story short, I went into the same thing. I was already heavily, to me, I say heavily because I was on it 2 to 3 days because of the brain fog,
Uh-huh.
morning, midday, and at night, pretty darn consistently, Did I miss maybe a night here and there, but maybe not. I mean, at least if anything, I was getting 2 to 3 different times where I would, take my sprays, and went in. And to me, I wasn't worried about it. I just went in. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll go take a drug screen. I got nothing to hide. Went in.
Uh-huh.
Was a day and a half later. They called me back. They said, okay, so basically your result came back negative. You're good to go. And so I was talking with the girl. I said, hey, what is it all that? Just the question out of the blue. What is it you guys look for? And she said,
Uh-huh.
they went through the standard, we looked through for hard narcotics and something like that, and then high levels of marijuana. She happened to mention, and she goes, doesn't mean it's gonna affect you, but it could be, basically, it's all dependent. Every company's different. So, long story at that point, I just, I said, okay, not a problem, and so to me, it's like I've tested, and I have not had anything come up positive. So when somebody asks me, I said, look, I can tell you from my experience, I've came out negative 3 different times, not one time positive. So let me grab this for you. Give me a second. So anyways, and I'll be happy to share this. This is a kit that you can buy, over at Rite Aid, if everybody can see it. Okay. And it's basically for THC. It's what it's looking for. So I bought 2 kits. I sent one in, and I'm actually waiting for the results to come back in, which I'll be happy to share, for anybody that wants to know or wants to see it, So I have, like I
Yeah.
said, again, and the same thing like you, I have a full-time job, high management position. This is not my living. I don't primarily use, sell these or anything to make money to try to do anything. If anything, I try to help people. I just recently, and I shared with you as well, recently my sister-in-law, she's had rheumatoid arthritis for probably, I think maybe the last 10, 15 years, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was there on a Saturday, and I don't push it on them. I tell them, if they ask me how I'm feeling, I'll give them information. And I just, obviously I carry it with me, and I said, here, take a couple of sprays. How many? Take 3 or 4. She took 3 or 4, and she's a person that's very hard to, to say, oh, this worked for me, or well, the next morning when
Yeah.
I saw her, she happened to come by. They came by for breakfast, and I asked her, I said, hey, how did you feel? Just out of the blue, she says, this is the best sleep I've had in, she says, I don't know how long. She says, and I know it was your spray. So I gave her some
Mm-hmm.
more that night. And actually, frankly, I had a little bit left, probably like a half of the bottle. I gave it to her. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked her like 3, 4 days later, how's your sleeping going? How's it? What do you notice? Anything different, or is it continued? And she said, yeah. So they went on vacation. She made sure she got a couple bottles, and I just seen them on Saturday, and she ordered 4 more bottles of 1,000 for me. So from me. So
Okay.
I took them over there, and on top of that, my son's had rheumatoid arthritis since he was 6, 7 years old, and I've always what I thought I've told him how I felt when I've taken it, but I always want him to make his own decisions. Obviously, if he chose to use it or not because I was
Mm-hmm.
telling him. Well, finally, I told him, hey, I'm going to give you a bottle of 3,000, and I want you to start taking it because he just recently started working out. He's feeling better. He's trying to add weight. With his illness, I mean, he's barely like 100 pounds wet, and he's already 21 years old, and that's how much the effects of that disease took on, on him. So he's been taking him. I've given him a couple days, and you know, I'm going to ask him because he was talking about the same thing. He was feeling better, but he's feeling a little bit of aches and pains. So I told him, here, the 3,000. You know, on the days that you feel a little bit more, you know, take up to, you know, start at 3, take up to 5. I said, you know, it's only going to benefit you. It's not going to do anything. You can't overdose on it, you know. So, you know, again,
Yeah.
I just,
You
you
just
know,
got to make sure
I'm
you're
just,
drinking water, though.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I told him you got to drink plenty of water, which he already drinks so plenty of water anyway. So that's a good thing. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. You know, I try to, you know, let others know my experience with it if they ask me or if they got a question about it. And other than that, you know, I take it for the benefits for myself, take it for the benefits that I know it could provide to my family and that I see it doing for my family. And then some of my friends, some of my teammates that you know, that like to pick some up from me, ask me, hey, you got any in stock? I said, yeah, I got some. So again, I mean, that's been my whole experience with that. And, you know, I mean, I can't see myself taking anything else but, you know, CBD for the rest of my life, hopefully, you know. So as many years hopefully to come that I'm going to continue to take it because I'm a believer in it. I see what it's done for me, and you know, nobody can change that.
Yeah.
So
What up, Mark? If you're out in Arizona, I sent my buddy Mark there. He got some CBD, but I also added a sample bottle just because he's out there in Arizona, so he could shoot some people up. And dude, I have to say, I mean, it's hard to explain because I've been on it so long and stuff that I feel great. I never feel tired in a tournament. I never feel overly sore like on a Monday or anything. I feel great. And I tell people I have to say the CBD because, you know, we're over 50 and I'm too lazy. I don't go jogging and running and hit the gym. You know, I just do that when I go hit BP. And I'm playing league 2 nights a week now. So I'm moving around, but unfortunately my BP hasn't been good lately because it's hard to find people. But nah, man, CBD. I've been healthy. I haven't gotten sick. Yeah, I've just been great, man. But it's really good to know that because now I can actually confirm it that somebody's actually tested 3 times for THC and came negative all times. Because that's something I told people. I can't say 100% because I've never had anyone get tested, you know. But now that you have, there it is, man. You know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like I said, I got
Right
nothing
on.
to hide or, you know, what specific reason. You know, to me it is what it is. I passed and negative 3 times, and you know.
Right. But hey, man, I'm gonna have another guy come on, but I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your stuff, and you know, send me a message and let me know. One thing I do want to say, you may see my good buddy here, depending how it's going with the senior softball. I know you do 40s, but I did ask Memo. He was gonna be out there, and see if you'd have came to Vegas, dude. You would have won. You'd have been out there. We won it.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
maybe
nice.
having my good buddy here, Memo, come on as he'll be a very valuable guy to be a backup player, role player on our team, as well as help us on the bases and you know, come in the pinch here and there. But we'll get talking on that too. But like I said, take care, Mike Copa. Thanks for coming on, and you know, we'll see you.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
So there you go. There you go. I want to put my mic on because I'm all CBD'd out, and I'm gonna do it now. I've been fiddling, you know what I mean? And fiddling's a good thing. You know, that's gonna my OSAT's way out there. So I'm gonna sing the Ice Chihuahua theme song. And it's a very simple song. And I haven't really been playing guitar or anything in a long time, so I don't pick as well or anything. But hold on, Christopher McMahon, if you're out there, come try to link on because he's the next guest I have on tonight about I'm punk, and they always say I get these things out of tunes. All right, hold on, Chris. I'm gonna play, or we're gonna do it after CBD. tuned up. I didn't take it out of tune. So I'm going to get my good buddy Chris Mann right here. All right, so Chris, right now it's saying I can't add you on. So you can have a Bluetooth on, preferably your phone. Your phone, like I said, your phone, no Bluetooth, no extra tabs. Preferably get on with your phone. Yeah, and then try to link on again. So, something I want to put on. This record, this is an original, man. I've seen this on eBay going well over $100. Hopefully the show doesn't get zapped. But this is Green Day 39 Smooth, first record, original lyric sheet, everything. Nobody's got that. Look at that. And if you have to see, original Laytonville. See that? So that's how you know it's a first edition, first press. No Bluetooth. So see if you can try to link on again, Chris. Oh, let me take this off. All right. Now you should be able, maybe it's because I had my mic on. Gonna be selling these, so please, well, if you want, we're gonna do it order regardless. I really like these shirts. You know what I mean? What is it that drives me mad? Girls like you that I never had. I put this bet on the map. You gotta know that. When I was doing this live BP during COVID, no one had this. I was whacking the sucker with this thing, man. All right. So Chris, see if you can come on, or maybe let me see if I can find you on here. I just need a little time. Mark, did you take your I can't pull you up. I can't find you. Mark, did you take your DVD today? So Chris, try to come on, because I really need this guy to come on. Well, what did you there you go. Wait. Are you slanted? Actually, this might be my fault. I'm going, horizontal. I'm not going the vertical way or the long ways. I'm going straight up and down. So to come on, you're going to have to go up and down. If you don't see it right now, I don't know if you're using your Wi-Fi or not. I find to say that it works better for me using the phone-provided internet opposed to using my local Wi-Fi. But you probably have a better phone with more gigs than me. Because I couldn't find you right now. But Mark, get yourself on your CBD. Start taking it every day. I didn't get the chance to talk to you to find out exactly, like when I've been selling the CBD, I always ask people, what are you taking it for? So I can get a feel or give you an idea what to kind of tinker with in regards to, how much of a dose. Because for everybody, it's different. I do 5. On a tournament, if I really want to make sure I do good, like when I go next weekend, I'm out in Oklahoma in Ardmore, and I'm going to have a couple of days in Texas. So, spending time, maybe go magnet fishing. I think it'll work now. Yep. So you're going to be coming on, buddy. It says that. So I'm going to be adding BPS, player, coach, manager, a BPS, senior softball. Christopher Mann. He should be coming on. Big, tall guy, great guy. He's going to share some things that he's been sharing with me, taking CBD. And I always like when I'm able to get people like, I've talked to Chris over the years, and maybe we've never seen me talk to him a lot at a tournament, but we've talked. And that's why when it comes to having somebody give a testimony or what, the CBD has done for them, I like it to be somebody that, especially if you know them a lot better than I do. I mean, then you're going to know that I obviously didn't give him a script or set this up. And I really appreciate him sharing what it's been doing for him. So it just says adding. Wait, no answer for the live video guest. So I think yep, it's there. Let me see it again. Oh yeah. So hopefully it works. Another thing I'm going to be doing. Oh, there it goes.
There you go. How you
All
doing?
right. Oh, had to wear the Dodger hat, huh?
Always, always, always.
Are they winning right now?
They played earlier. They won 11-1.
Oh, they did? Right on. Wait. So my buddy Mark says, waiting for pain and soreness and some energy. I'm looking to get it out. Yeah, you do. Also, want to see if it helps in areas I'm hearing it does. And yeah, just take it daily. I think if you're feeling like that right now, Mark, I would suggest you take it in the morning and in the afternoon. And I would start immediately probably with the 3,000 before you go to 1,000. I'd probably do the 3,000 for like 2 weeks and then go to 1,000 during the week and 3,000 while you're playing. But thanks for coming on, Chris. Do you like Chris or Christopher?
I go by Chris.
All right. So thanks for coming on. So Chris, my buddy right here, how long you been taking the CBD? How long you been getting it from me for about?
For you, probably, well, it's about 4 months, 4 or 5 months ago.
4 months.
I got it.
And you were taking other stuff, right?
In 2019, I started taking some stuff that, said that they didn't have THC and stuff like that. I was having neck fusion in 2019.
Okay.
I was going through a lot of body pain and everything else. But when I took, home tests, I was always failing them. And going back to work, I'm a driver and, class commercial driver. So I can't, fail any tests. So all the CBD has always kind of been leery for me to take because, I don't ever want to put my job on the line, taking something, that shouldn't get me in trouble, but could, you know what I'm saying?
So I mean, people out there watching this right now, Chris did share that with me, I want to try yours. And this, he was explaining that he didn't want to, obviously he was going to be going back to work and, he couldn't fail a test. And he kind of like helped me to kind of pass out facts. So what I'd like you to do is share the news that you shared with me just recently. Actually, shared it 2 different times.
Yeah, in the past month, because I plan on trying to go back to work here pretty soon in next week or by the end of this month. I've taken a couple home tests that I've bought, and they've both come up, negative. And even in the past, when I've taken home tests for other products of CBD, it's always come up positive. And so, talking to you, again, I was still leery about it, but the last 2 tests I've taken at home both come up negative. So, which is a good sign because I like taking it. I don't like taking, Motrin, and I've dealt with a lot of injuries in the last couple of years. I had back surgery last year. I've had 4 shoulder surgeries, a neck fusion, and knee surgery. And when you go through all that, you get hooked on, not hooked on, but you take a lot of pain meds, to kind of get through, like Norco, Soma, ibuprofen, and I just wanted to try to get off all that and, start taking CBD again. Stuff that, I could take even when I, go back to work and not have to worry about failing a drug test or anything else like that. And, your product has, definitely passed the last 2 tests. So, and I enjoy taking, I usually take about 4 or 5 squirts, in the morning, and then I'll take it at night. I saw your video. I'd have to disagree with the lady a little bit because, once I started, getting off the Norco at night, I couldn't fall asleep. My mind would wander and wander and wander and wander. And so I started, taking the CBD, and within a couple of days, I just time falling asleep. It also helps my body, a little bit relax because, I still do, my body, is beat up. So I still deal with a little bit of pain and here and there, but, I take it at night. Like I said, I take it in the morning before I go work out or, PT, and my body hasn't really been sore, lately. So, which is a good sign. I'm not taking any Motrin. I'm not taking any muscle relaxers or, Norcos to get through the day or anymore. So, which which is
Really?
good. Yeah.
I think that's fabulous because as I was sharing with my buddy Memo, I used to take Advil all the time, and then I never really thought about it, but I just stopped taking it. But to hear, I mean, you not taking Norcos, Advil, whatever you were taking, I mean, obviously your internal organs right now are saying thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And CBD
Especially with
is an
that.
all natural product. And as I shared, as the maker came out one time, it's industrial hemp. There is no THC. There's a higher content of CBD isolate, and you can look that up as well as cannabinoids. But I mean, go into that because I mean, it's like I tell people like, what do you need it for? Yeah, I could treat it, and they look at me like I'm crazy because it's been an array of stuff. Cancer, anxiety, depression, back pain, sciatic nerve, tumor in the brain, bronchitis. And you shared with me that it's been most effective with you being able to have a good night's rest, right? Sleeping?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I take it every night. I mean, like I said, I take it every morning as soon as I wake up. I mean, it's sitting right there on my dresser next to me, and I take it every night before I go to bed also. Um,
Mhm.
and like I said, it gives it relaxes. It helps me sleep through the night. I remember I seen you earlier where of course when you have to go up the restroom and you're obviously gonna wake up. So that's
Mhm.
about the only time I really wake up. I get a good night's sleep now. I don't wake up really tired anymore, and I get a good night's sleep. I drink a ton of water too. I probably drink over a gallon of water a day, so I'm always using the restroom. Especially at night.
Well, I mean, that's good. It's like I said, you're filtering your system. I mean, that's something you should do with our bodies is filter it.
Yeah.
Digesting food and, processing water or whatever. It's just, that's what our body needs to do to stay healthy. And, like I said, I think that's great that, you're off a lot of the over the counter meds and stuff and that you're able just to take, CBD. Um, but
Yeah. Even that
obviously you shared you
ibuprofen is
were
not
kind
good.
of, what's that?
I said even that ibuprofen is not good for your stomach or anything else like that. Never good to take a
Yeah.
lot of ibuprofen. And like I said, I was taking a lot, you to get through the day. In fact, I just, I have a buddy that I work with. He kind of went through the same thing I did. He's been looking for CBD, and obviously he's a little worried also, and I told him the same thing. He wants me to order to try it. Not only that, I mean, this is
Mhm.
probably the best tasting CBD I've ever had. Either, it tastes, it's got like a cinnamon taste to it. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little gas in there, but it's also clear. I have you noticed like other CBDs, older ones, were they ever clear or were they kind of like that muggy water, the greenish, kind of
Yeah,
brownish
it's like a
in the
little
past?
brownish color. Yeah, when I've never had the
That's
squirt
another
bottle
way
either.
to
It's always,
tell that this is straight industrial hemp. What's that?
I said I never had one of the squirt bottles either. It was always, the little vials you had to use it.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
really,
I mean like I said, that's the big difference. This is straight CBD industrial hemp, CBD isolate, and that's why it's clear. That other stuff is kind of a little bit of guck. The other guy, he was telling me like he said, oh, it's like getting the bottom scrapes of hemp, but I don't know. But I shared. I'm a prime example. I mean, do you find it's been easier to run your softball team, being out there on your feet the whole time, keeping your cool because you're managing men and stuff?
I think my teammates would say I probably keep my cool a little bit better this year, than I did last year. But I was going through a lot of pain last year also. Um, I won't sit here and say that this last couple week or this last weekend, my back kind of cramped up a little bit. I got tired sitting out there all day. I didn't bring it with me, which I probably should have. I took some in the morning, but sitting out all there, standing base coaching right now, it kind of tightened up on me a little bit. So I won't say that
Yeah, that's what I
it
like to
did.
see it. For me, I use the 3000s on the weekends because I will feel a little on my lower left side of my back, and that's when I do that. But I also have the rub, which is actually really good as well. But no, I mean, Chris, that's great news. Thank you for sharing, man. I'm going to be cutting this off because I've been on well past my bedtime in a sense. But I appreciate everything. When are you guys playing again? Or how did you guys end up doing last weekend?
We went 2-2. The wind out there was horrible, man. I mean, I watched that last game against what was it, Gold Nation and HMR. I think the score was 5-4. You know,
Oh yeah,
it was. We didn't
it was
score
not
many
good.
runs in the first 2 games either. You know, but you know, we'll be back in. I think the 21st we're going to play in SAC, and then after that we'll probably play states.
You guys not gonna do Rock and Reno?
Now we have too many guys that were already going to be gone. If it was Memorial Day
Man, that's
weekend,
too bad.
yeah, if it was Memorial Day weekend, we would have had a full team. But
Oh
now
yeah,
that
that's right.
this year it's the week after, so we're missing probably 4 or 5 guys. That so we're
That's
gonna
my
pass that
favorite
one.
one, man. That's my favorite one. I'd have to say obviously Vegas is a little nicer, but I have to say I prefer playing in Reno than Vegas over the years that I've been playing 40
Yeah,
over soft.
Rex a little disappointed because you know, again, it's a fun tournament to go to, but you know, we're not gonna try to scrap a team together just to go. You know, we like to go with our full team, and just
Right.
that, you know, like I said, there's 4 or 5 guys missing that week, so it'd be a little bit of a hassle to try to maneuver everything around.
Right. I feel you, man. But hey, thanks for coming on. I hope you enjoy
I
the
appreciate
rest of your week. All right. You be safe.
You do the same. I appreciate it. You have a
Thank you,
good night.
brother.
All right, thank you.
So I appreciate those two guys. So those of you that have been hesitant or unsure, both those guys that I had, Chris, and you may know Chris on a personal basis, maybe talk to him. Or if you know my good buddy Memo, they both have jobs that they get random drug tests, and Memo's been tested 3 times, negative. And Chris has been tested twice and negative, taking the 3,000 CBD. Like I said, it does wonders for me and stuff. I'm in a good mood. That's what I find myself. I'm always in a good mood. I'm never like want to be down and so I am gonna play my my Chihuahua classic song for you. Let me see. How about La Bamba for y'all? Wait. Okay, I'm sorry. It's been a long time. What's up, Matt McGee? Free agent? What does that mean? Maybe we'll talk next week before Ardmore on here. And remember our little broadcast talking about the buffet. Words like that is just awesome. Like I said, we had fun that night. Obviously, you didn't probably know. Maybe you did. I had probably 1 too many beers, so it was fun talking about the buffet. So this song, I probably messed it up, but this song right here is my Chihuahua song. So it goes like this, okay? You're not punk, and I'm telling everyone, save your breath, I never was one. You don't know what I'm about. My killing cops and reading Kerouac. My enemies are all too familiar. They're the ones that used to call me friend. I'm coloring outside more guidelines, passing out when you were handing out the rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, who's punk? What's the score? I got a friend, his name is Boxcar. Cigarettes and heavy red, and her hair is blue. Now it's green. Curtis Day, I'm gonna get you on. All right. Did you hear that? I'm coloring outside your guidelines because I was passing out when you were handing out the rules. Maybe that's why I do what I do and I play. You know that? I was passing out when they're handing out the rules. Dang it. And here's another one. My enemies are all too familiar. They're the ones that used to call me friend. I like that one. That's a pretty good one. Can't really say I have people that I don't call my friend anymore, but it's a pretty powerful line because sometimes people kind of, you hear that? Check this out again. My enemies are all too familiar. They're the ones that used to call me friend, right? Friend. But I want to thank you all for coming out this wonderful evening. I'm going to be heading out here.
Final.
And
Rotan taking the field, the whole team.
So I'm going to put my record on. And I guess I'm going to close it because it's night by one of a great song by Green Day. And the song's called 16. And it's called 16. And it's, if you read the lyrics, you can kind of make it sad a little bit, but. All right. So we'll be heading out. Plastic Glass, man. Playing some great ball right now. Watch out for that team. I'm favoring them to win in Palm Springs. Probably one of the best chemistry I've seen for a team. Jordan Spalding, great pickup. Great hitter. Love the guy. Seen a lot in his young years. Jordan, and then up and coming big time monster basher is going to be my man, Ryan. Hitting bomb Beazles. 3 or 4 years, Bubba. Signature bat. That's what I'm calling. See what big man does right here. Blocking him. Bombeasel. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's a nice play. Things you don't like to see. Right? And he was actually pretty impressive with the bat. If you really watch him and he pitches, I mean, he's an all-around guy. Doing the old SoCal poopy doopy. So thanks for coming on. I hope you got some good information. Don't be so much worried about taking CBD for the fact that, as we said, we've had a couple people who've, drug tested and they got negative. One guy, Chris twice, and Memo 3 times. We'll be coming on Friday. School year's winding down. Got some big news in regards to what I'm going to be doing next year. For work, which I'm pretty excited, and be taking the summer off, maybe doing a little day here, day there. But I'm blessed. CBD life. Last, before I let you go, I'm going to be making another Cerna Strong shirt from a man to help raise some money for him. It isn't a lot. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to charge, but if you always want to give out more, you could always send more when you order your shirt. Okay, so thanks for coming on this May 10th, and it's going to be 9 o'clock. So we had a long show tonight, huh? But take care, be safe, and I got leave tomorrow.